Italy's ambassador to the country was killed in an ambush. Luca Attanasio was taking part in a WFP school feeding program. Gunmen attacked the convoy in Eastern DRC, killing 2 other passengers. CGTN's Astatal has more.
It's a sad day at the Italian embassy in the DRC. Just a day earlier, Ambassador Luca Attanasio was taking part in a food program organized by the UN's World Food Program. An attempted kidnapping led to the death of the 43-year-old ambassador. This comes as a shock to those who knew him.
Personally, I know the ambassador very well and I'm very sad. I'm very sad. I just do not understand how a young man, intelligent ambassador who went to Goma to save the lives of Congolese must die in such conditions. I ask myself the question, how far will we go in this situation?
Gunmen ambushed the UN convoy near the eastern city of Goma, the capital of North Kivu province. The province's governor says they fired warning shots to stop the car. The driver was killed while the rest of the convoy was led to a nearby forest. A Congolese army unit came to their rescue, but the assailants killed Attanasio and his bodyguard as they exchanged fire. The DRC's Foreign Affairs Minister joined others in sending her condolences.
Truly, it is with sorrow and a lot of sadness that we have just learned of the death of the young Italian ambassador here in the Democratic Republic of Congo in a WFP convoy, and that this convoy fell into an ambush, and that not only his driver was killed, but also himself. We are also aggravated because just a week ago, he was here in this office to invite us to participate in the G20 in Italy next summer.
The 7-member convoy was not escorted by any security forces, despite the road being a frequent site for bandit attacks. The WFP states the road had been cleared for travel without security escorts. The agency is currently seeking information from local authorities.
The Secretary General calls on the government of the Democratic Republic of the Congo to investigate swiftly this heinous targeting of a UN joint field mission and to bring the perpetrators to justice. He reaffirms that the United Nations will continue to support the Congolese government and the people in their efforts to bring about peace and stability, especially in the east of the country.
Authorities are still searching for the assailants in the country's Virunga National Park. No group has claimed responsibility for the attack. Astatal, CGTN.
Well, let's get more on that story now. CGTN's Chris Ochamringa joins us from Kinshasa and joins us live for more on this story. Chris, what is the latest you can tell us on the killings of the Italian ambassador in Eastern DRC?
Well, Maria, the DRC President Felix Tshisekedi yesterday held a meeting with senior security officials here in Kinshasa, and they decided that they'll send a team to the area where this incident happened, a place known as Kibumba, to investigate the killing of Ambassador Luca Attanasio, his bodyguard, and the Congolese driver. And the team that is going there said that they will leave no stone unturned until they find the killers of the ambassador and the people who were killed along with him. We've also been made to understand that that road where this incident happened had been cleared earlier by security officials for travel without any escorts, and so it's quite startling that this happened. We spoke to some security officials from the UN, and they said that there are quite a number of rebel groups that operate in that area. Many of them carry out guerrilla tactics. They hide in the community, and so it's very difficult to find them because they don't want to, harm civilians who are not linked to any rebel group, and so it's still very difficult, a big challenge for them to weed out the rebels in that area. Maria?
And Chris, how is the government dealing with this attack, and do we know at this time who could have been behind it?
Well, there has been an outpouring of condolence messages from the DRC government, right from the president's office, ministers, senators, legislators, and ordinary Congolese. And they're all saying one thing. In French, it's known as trop c'est trop, which means enough is enough. They are fed up of the killings in the east of the DRC, particularly North Kivu, that has more than 100 rebel groups operating there. And they're saying the government must do everything possible now to stop the killings. people there are optimistic that now the government will step up operations, because ever since October 2019, the government launched a large-scale military operation in that area to remove all the rebel groups there, but the killings have continued to happen, especially in a territory known as Beni in the east of the DRC. And we have also learned from the Congolese Minister for the Interior that he was accusing a Rwandan group known as the Democratic Forces for the Liberation of Rwanda, it's the FDLR, of being behind this attack. It's still very early. I mean, many people were startled that he came up with this conclusion. They don't know how he zeroed in on them, because there are very many rebel groups there. But we've also seen a statement from a member of the FDLR. It was signed, and they were denying any connection, any involvement in the killing of Ambassador Luca Attanasio. This group is originally from Rwanda. They are composed of Hutu fighters who fled Rwanda in 1994 and settled in Eastern DRC. Their plan has been to reorganize and attack and remove the government of President Kagame in Rwanda. And so they have been operating in Eastern DRC for a very long time. Earlier this year, there was an attack in Virunga National Park where 6 rangers were killed, and the local authorities there blamed that attack on the FDLR. And so that is one reason that people believe could link them to this attack, but they have denied it. So it's still early days. We're waiting for investigations, thorough investigations from authorities. The UN is also supporting the DRC government to find the killers. And what is certain about this is that the security situation is going to change, because there has been a lot of commitment from leaders in the DRC and their partners who are helping them to secure this country. Mahia?
All right, Chris, thank you very much for your insights there. CGTN's Chris Ochamringa joining us live from Kinshasa. Well, let's get more insights into this story. For more on this, we're joined by Nelleke van der Waal, who is the Deputy Project Director for Central Africa at the International Crisis Group, also joining us from Kinshasa. Nelleke, what does this incident mean in terms of security in Eastern DRC?
Hi, good afternoon. I think what you see is that the death of the ambassador, his bodyguard, and also his driver, it shines a light on the ongoing violence in the Democratic Republic of Congo, especially in the eastern part that has been plagued by armed group attacks for years. The convoy was on its way from Goma to Rutshuru, and this is a region where armed groups are very active. There are often kidnappings. You see also that young people sometimes stop vehicles to get money from the drivers. Congolese are often targeted as well. I think it basically shows that in Eastern DRC, there is ongoing violence by armed groups. A recent report by the UN showed that the number of human rights violations committed by armed groups in the East increased in 2020, especially in North Kivu, where the incident took place, and in the Ituri province, also in the east of the country. And yesterday, another report came out that showed that about 122 armed groups are active in the east. So it basically shines a light on what has been ongoing for years.
And speaking of the region, how is, if any, this security situation there going to be resolved?
Yeah, that's a difficult question. As I just pointed out, it's not new. Violence has been ongoing for 25 years. I think it's very important for the Congolese President Felix Tshisekedi to start focusing on the East. He has said that it is one of his priorities, but he has been extremely distracted by Kinshasa politics and how to deal with his predecessor, Joseph Kabila. He should formulate a policy on the East. You rightly pointed out to the role of the region. I think it's very relevant that neighboring countries of the DRC, especially Uganda, Rwanda, and Burundi, who all have ties to armed groups active in the East, that they are involved in a discussion about how to resolve the ongoing violence in the area. And then I think there are 2 other important elements, and that is offer something to the armed groups as an alternative. So make sure that they demobilize and that it is better to do something else than to be active for an armed group, and reach out to local communities. Make sure that you are in touch with local leaders instead, because a lot of the armed groups are embedded in local communities. So you need to get in touch with them instead of focusing on just a military approach. Make sure that you are in touch with those on the ground.
All right, Nelleke, thank you very much for joining us. Deputy Project Director for Central Africa at the International Crisis Group, Nelleke van der Waal, speaking to us live there from Kinshasa.